happy Halloween. Happy frickin' Halloween. Actually, it's what we call here in the United States right now, Devil's Night tonight. Especially, I remember growing up uh, in my 20s, 30s, I would say. Devil's Night was especially dangerous in Detroit. Detroit had riots on this night and fires and yeah, whatnot. So, okay, anyway, it's been a couple weeks. I apologize. From my window to yours. I didn't do one last week. There wasn't much of an update going on. Nothing really going on. And of course, because I saved it, I have an active agenda. And I will start out with a kind of a video response in a way to Dean from Escape to Gaming. And what it is, his favorite city in the world is the same as mine. We share that at San Francisco. And he did check an item off his bucket list and has pictures in front of the Yoda. My Yoda's like right there. But he went to see the real Yoda statue there, just ILM at the Presidio in San Francisco. And one reason I do want to get Watch Dogs 2 is just because it's in San Francisco. I don't care about the game. I never played the first one. I heard the first one's not that good. Although, yeah, the gameplay intrigues me and all, but it's in San Francisco. And I've seen people like drive through the game, early previews of the game, and it's, oh my God, this is beautiful. I love this. It's my favorite city. And today I've got a Mountain Dew. And I will be talking about this game soon, Titanfall. But anyway, San Francisco, and here is why. People are wondering, yeah, I know you've got that question in your mind. Why does somebody from the Midwest, Michigan, San Francisco, be their favorite city? Okay. So my father, it really kind of starts with him, I guess. In the 80s, and this I'm going to say the early 80s, my mom and dad divorced in the late 70s. I'm not going to go into great detail about things, but he moved to, he was here for a while, but then he moved out west to San Francisco. Had a big job. I believe it was with Foremost McKesson at the time, I believe. He was a computer programmer like I am. And I've talked about my history and how I got into programming through him. He was an RPG programmer. But anyway, his path took him out west. And he happened to be in San Francisco. And this is before the advent of Silicon Valley. He was out there before the internet. I think the internet was being used by probably the military or the government at the time. But this was the early 80s. And I think he actually moved out there maybe, if I think right, the late 70s. So anyway, he's in San Francisco. And at the time, I wasn't very young. I'm going to say, a teenager, early teens, preteen. I don't remember exactly the first year I went out there, but I know, if I recall, my mother was having some issues with me, and she's like, take the children for a while. I don't even remember. But anyway, I loved it. I went out there, and being a teenager at the time, and kind of knowing, formulating my sexuality, but going out into San Francisco, it's like, oh my God. And it wasn't just that, because I wasn't looking for hookups and all that stuff. Although, on a side note, it happened. Like I said, I'm not going to go into details. Anyway, the city was beautiful. One of the biggest, cleanest cities I've ever seen. And just absolutely gorgeous. The atmosphere was gorgeous. The ambiance was gorgeous. This was back in the days of Reagan and, maybe even before. No, it wasn't the days of Reagan. So, economics were kind of not too bad, at least from my perspective, they weren't too bad. I guess from a lot of other people's perspectives, they were. Kaya. say hi. You want to say hi? Okay. So anyway, Chris is there. So San Francisco, one reason I loved it though was just because of I don't know, the atmosphere, the people. It was so damn friendly, and I've been there probably, yeah, Chris. I was wondering what's he working about, so I told him to come on in. So that was Chris. Um, I've been there. I don't know. I'm gonna say in my lifetime, like about a total of 20 to 30 times. Too hard to count, but I'm gonna say at least 20 times I've been there. Because I used to go out and visit my dad. My dad used to live in Fox Plaza right on Market Street. And then after he was, when I just go on my own, and he was no longer there, which was many years later. I always stay at either at the Holiday Inn in the Financial District, or I'm trying to think of the name. There's a hotel right on 8th Street over by 8th and Market. Radisson, I can't remember, but anyway, I just love it. I love it. I love it. One of my Dean's, he was talking about bucket list. He checked off that bucket list item of visiting ILM. One of his bucket list items. One of mine is and also during that time, the 1980s. And I completely forgot about this. My all-time favorite TV show, Dynasty. People that know me know I love Dynasty. It is the only TV show that I own on DVD, the whole entire series. In fact, Dynasty, I have a little side story. I was having, and this again when I was a teenager, I think I was maybe 15, 16, and it was in December. I distinctly remember this because Dynasty was going to have their I can't remember what they call it, winter ball. It was their Christmas episode, and people were in these gorgeous outfits and all this high society stuff. And yeah, Nolan Miller and all those gorgeous gowns. But anyway, I ended up in the hospital with, I had to have my appendix removed. And I'll never forget the nurse back then. We had these TVs like that, stuck in the wall. You didn't have internet again and all that fun stuff. But the nurse, I remember, I got admitted. It was late in the afternoon, and in fact, it was after the time that they turn on the TVs or whatever. And it happened to be a Wednesday night. It must have been a Wednesday night. And I was due to have surgery that Thursday morning. This was not emergency surgery. This was scheduled. I think it was more like exploratory surgery to see why I was having stomach issues. And it happened to be while they were in there, they took out the appendix. Yeah, she turned on the TV for me that night, Dynasty. I was like, no, I can't miss Dynasty. I gotta watch Dynasty. I've got somewhere, I don't know, back here somewhere. Yeah, we had VHS back then, and some people recorded Dynasties for me and all. And because I was in school still, I had a curfew like 9 p.m. I had to be in bed like around 9 p.m. and no TV. So I had a 13-inch black and white TV, I think it was, and I used to sneak and watch it, just turn it on. And a lot of times what I would do, though, too, in case I fell asleep, is I'd put a cassette recorder next to the TV to record the sound. It would record, I made sure that the tape was like an hour or two cassette tape, and it would actually record the sound. I still have these tapes back here in a case somewhere. Not every show, but some of them. And I don't know. Anyway, so this is why I'm trying to get to the point of why I love another thing that really, really, really drew me into San Francisco. And because after Dynasty, with Mr. James Brolin, I believe he was the head of the show, was a show called Hotel. And Hotel, I believe, was based in San Francisco. It was the Sir Francis Drake Hotel, something like that. I can't remember. But I didn't really watch his show because it was on later. But I always caught the beginning of it. And sure enough, Dynasty. And it's like, after I went, Hotel. After I went back to San Francisco see my dad and see these real places. It's like, oh, my heart. Yes, I truly, that song, that Tony Bennett song, I left my heart in San Francisco is so, so damn true. So, in combination with all of this, one of my top bucket list items, number one probably, is not just meeting Joan Collins. That's already off my bucket list. I have met Joan Collins, by the way. But the is going to Filoli Estate. Filoli Estate is in. Let me see exactly. You guys probably know exactly where it is. I'm gonna. It is Woodside, California. The specific address, I just brought it up online, is 86 Canada Road, Woodside, California, which is just like, I don't know, half an hour south of San Francisco, something like that. It is for those of you who don't know, Filoli Estate is the Carrington Mansion. It's a mansion that they use for Dynasty. I know that it's been used for many other things. I think it was also built in like the 19. I think it was built in the 30s. Yep, it is it sits on 16 acres, and what it's famous for today, and it's a private estate, however, they do open it for tours, and the tours are, because it is a national trust, but they open up the tours because of the gardens. And yeah, so the Bourne family. Filoli was built between 1915 and 1917 for William Bowers Bourne. And he owned one of the gold mines, Spring Valley Water Company, which is very interesting because the last season of Dynasty had something to do with some of the mines, the gold mines. But some of the gold mines anyway, I'm not going to get into Dynasty. But this is like the top of my bucket list and why I love San Francisco so much. I had other occasions when I worked at Kellogg's of going to San Francisco a lot because one of the main programs that I use there at the Kellogg plants is it's called PI, P-I, and it's made out of OSI soft, which is in San Leandro. And I had many occasions to go annually for their user conference or some specific training, and I would stay there in the financial district and just catch the BART down to San Leandro. In fact, right past the Oakland Coliseum, San Leandro stop right outside of OSI headquarters, so it was a pretty much direct shot. But yeah, in all the times, I have been there 20 to 30 times. I have never been to Filoli out of all those times. So now you guys just kind of saw Chris. I want to take him. I want to take Chris. I would love to take him. So anyway, yes, let's move on. That's that. Okay, gaming. This game is made my game of the year incredibly hard to call. I know my game of the year don't mean squat to people. Maybe it might, but because it's my own opinion. And another thing is I really fairly, out of all honesty, can't do game of the year because I don't play them all. I certainly don't play them all. But my AAA games, I've got 3 of them this year that I think I've purchased maybe more, because I have purchased Star Wars Battlefront, but I think that was last year. But I've got 3 right now. I've got Doom, Gears 4, and this. And this morning, I just did finish the campaign. And what a campaign, single-player campaign, it really, truly is. They delivered on that. Yes, it is short. You'll see in the reviews online. It took me, I started playing this maybe late Friday afternoon. I am getting over a cold too. So if I sound kind of, it's because of that. Friday made me think of that because I had taken the day off, and not for this. I did pick this up, but because I was sick. But yeah, I played a little bit Friday, a lot yesterday, and then I finished it this morning. So the campaign probably takes a good if you're on playing it on easy and you are storming your way through, I would say 4 or 5 hours. On average, probably 6 to 8 hours. If you are searching everywhere for every little collectible, it'll probably take you up to 10 to 12, I would think. I don't have all the collectibles. I have maybe 10, 11, 12. I know I got the achievement for collecting 10. And I think I got maybe a couple more after that. So there's another achievement, I think, for unlocking 15. And then I think there might be a total of 30. I don't recall, but what I'm going to do is use my ECA guides like I always do and go back and find the collectibles. In fact, after I finished the story this morning, um, I went back and got some of the easier achievements. But not only is the story isn't, I'm not going to say it's a very, very, very deep story, like perhaps Bioshock, Gears of War, Mass Effect. It's not a very, very deep, deep, deep story. It's yeah, I recall it to me and my dog, Honda. Honda's behind me there. It's the pilot and his robot, and the robot saves the pilot under. There's 3 criteria, and that's the third criteria is protect the pilot under all cost. So this the campaign is good. What I want to say about the campaign, so it brings up new elements to games that I have not really experienced before. I'm sure I don't know if they're totally new, but for instance, there's a scene where, and this isn't giving away spoilers, but there's a scene, and it's a fairly complicated scene where you're going through this factory and they're building like modular homes or something, and what they're really doing is they're building this like fake city or something. I don't know, but it's some of these parts are going like this, some of them are horizontal, some of them are vertical, and you're having to run through this, traverse your way through the logical flow of this factory. And in the end, you've got to scale up vertically up to a point up top. And it's very hard to do, but you have to look at your surroundings, and there's like platforms. You'll see like, oh, here's a bus, or here's a tree or something, which you have to kind of jump, move, and navigate over to. And you just got, it's very, very, I'm vertically challenged. And it just was very, very mind blowing, just mind blowing. And the action is so fast, and that's what this game is good about. Everything is so fast. It's not like Gears duck and cover. Although in this game you can duck and cover. You just left bumper and you disappear for a short time. If you get into a pickle, you can left bumper and disappear as long as it's charged up. But yes, what a game, what a game. And I agree with the critical reviews of this. A lot of them are giving it like 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. They are saying the campaign's short, but what's drawing them back is multiplayer. Multiplayer is done really, 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 really well in this. I've gotten up to, right now I'm a level 11, I think, online. And I've only played attrition. I've not played the other modes. I do want to play the other modes, but attrition is the standard, kind of like team deathmatch, 5-on-5. You got your Titans, and you're a team of 5 battling against another team of 5. So, and then you've got your AI involved in the middle. So, but anyway, I recommend this game. Doom has always been my game of the year. And Gears, as much as I love Gears, Gears do not take over Doom when it comes to surprisement of the year. This, though, has come very close. I still think Doom is going to be my game of the year, but this comes in second. This even just took over Gears for me. Although this is pretty equal to Gears. This is very pretty equal to Gears, because now I'm going to focus on this and Gears back and forth multiplayer. I don't have anything coming out in the foreseeable future. Not until like Mass Effect Andromeda comes out, which I think it may be out March, April, sometime next year. And I might have little indie games coming out, but I'm going to be playing the hell out of this and Gears for a while. So Okay, what else, guys? I'm at 20 minutes, and you know how I like to keep my videos down. What else has been going on? Yeah, I've been a little, like I said, under the weather. I've been for like a past week. And the thing is, it's been I call it my first cold as a non-smoker. I used to smoke how many years? I smoked for like 30 some odd years. And oh, I had colds as a child without smoking. I know, but this is like when I did smoke, it was much worse because I would still smoke when I had a chest cold, and it would like usually turn into bronchitis, probably near pneumonia. But now I'm not smoking, and this cold is just, I call it a tiny cold because it's just a bother. It's my chest is tight, and it's been there. I've been coughing. Not a lot of mucus has been coming up. Um, and I wish it would go away. But it's been kind of with me for almost a week now. So, um, what else? Work's going okay. I think that's about it. Because I wanted to do the response to Dean about San Francisco and why I love San Francisco. That was the main gist of this. And then I also did want to talk about my recent gaming. And yes, I know how I hype Gems of War. I am still playing Gems of War on a daily basis for at least maybe half an hour to an hour. And I promise gameplay, and I do need to get that out to you guys. I'm up here on my back on my PC. My latest episodes have been with through my Surface, which in fact this morning I started recording this on my Surface, but then I started coughing and hacking, and it's like, no, you know what? I'm gonna wait until the afternoon and start using my PC again. So, and the thing is with my PC in this room upstairs, I love this room, but the TV's downstairs and the Lions are on right now. It's like, I wonder how it's going. Yeah, when I looked, it was 17-10. They were not winning, or 17-3. So they're playing the Texans. Anyway, guys, I don't know what else was there. It seemed like there was something else, but I don't know. The weather here is nice for uh, what is tomorrow's Halloween. Tuesday will be November 1st, and it's going to be in the mid 60s here. It's almost like Florida, freaking Florida. So, yeah, okay, guys. You guys take care, and I thank you for watching and supporting this very small channel I have. So, spread the word, and would you kindly, I remember this is important. I'm not going to bring up politics, but if I don't hear from you a week from Tuesday, or you don't hear from me, would you kindly go out and vote? It is our right. People have died to make sure you have that right to vote, and it is powerful. And I'm not going to tell you to vote for. In fact, and I'll tell you who I'm voting for. I'm voting for Gary Johnson. I endorse him. I'm voting for him. He won't win. He won't win, but I will not have to take a shower after I vote, if you know what I mean. So, anyway, guys, yeah, if you don't hear from me next weekend, get out and vote. So anyway, take care, guys, and yeah, if leave a comment, like, and all that fun stuff and all that jazz. So take care, guys. Until next time, from my window to yours.